Yeah. Then we'll move on to 13, license renewal processing fee. A license may be renewed if the cultivation facility licensee submits to the commission a renewal application on a form and in a manner prescribed by the commission at least 60 days prior to the expiration date of the license. Is in good standing with the Arkansas Secretary of State's office, if required to register with the same. Continues to be in good standing with the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration, and continues to meet all the requirements of this chapter and other medical marijuana chapters.
Yeah, on that, I guess it's the second I, in good standing with the Arkansas Secretary of State's office, if required to register, do we know what they are? I mean, it's a business, so
Right,
would
it's
they
got
not
to
be
be-
required?
It's got to be an entity.
Yeah.
We're going to require
So
that.
Yeah.
can we just X that,
Yes.
that part off, just take that if required, because it would seem as if that would be required.
Is the language, I'll say, what you would normally use, it'd be the first double I, what I'll presumably mark number 3.
And then
That
4.
continues to be in good standing with Arkansas Department of Finance Administration. Does that cover us for everything that they would need to, like if there's taxes owed or anything like that? Is that
Yes.
sufficient?
Typically, well, when we renew permits here, we get a flag if somebody is delinquent and they can't renew until we get a clearance letter from DFNA. So that would cover those taxes owed to the state.
Okay.
So they would have to have that clearance letter.
If they're in good standing, they,
They'll automatically have it in.
right. Typically, we get a pink, their renewal is pink if they owe taxes. If it's not, it's just a regular renewal.
Okay.
So,
And then the 4th would be the, continue to meet all the requirements of the chapters. The B component, before renewing a license, the commission may require further information and documentation and may conduct additional background checks to determine that the licensee continues to meet the requirements of this chapter. After receiving written notice from the commission that its renewal application has been approved, the cultivation facility licensee shall pay the annual fee of by certified or cashier's check payable to the state of Arkansas. Now, we tabled that amount last meeting, so we still do not have, you guys want to discuss it again here? If, we were going to research.
Well, we were, I don't know if we tabled it, we put it aside to discuss later, I think.
Yeah, put it aside.
But we were talking about the application fee, in other words, for a successful application, what that application fee would be. My opinion, I think I stated last time, is I was in favor of a higher application fee. And I would think we would want the same fee, both on a renewal and in the initial fee, partly just in understanding a little bit more about the economics and the funding and how that works.
Well,
I think.
If you review the, I know you've reviewed the literature and the different cultivations facility, the numbers are all over the place. It's as low as 2,500 to as high as, I think the highest I saw was 185,000. So, we heard the numbers from Attorney DePippa last time about what we receive, the commission would receive, and those license fees would be a part of what is used to run the commission.
Yes.
So,
I would think we put them at the same rate as the application fee. I mean, I just think the idea of a 6-figure fee for Arkansas, I mean, it already puts the business, I mean, you're $100,000 in the hole on a licensing fee. I mean, list at the numbers that Pivot gave us last time, I mean, this thing's upside down financially. The state will get money if it creates jobs and revenue to that end, but we're not gonna get, I think, like $800,000 to run the ABC part of it. I mean, we're not gonna get that off of licensing fees. I wouldn't want to put a burden on the businesses that come through, and, you know, looking at the range, I saw $2,500 in California, you could renew it. I mean, I think $15,000 on a cultivation fee here, just mimic the application fee would be appropriate for the state.
I think it's gotta be higher than 15,000. I mean, I think that, you know, if you start looking at the agency, you know, say it's 800,000. And I mean, I know this is a really big number, but if you start looking at, say, 100,000 per growing facility, and we got 5, I mean, that's $500,000 of the 800,000. Well, then you have the dispensaries. Well, we have a different number on it. Say the dispensaries are 10,000. Let's just throw that out there, and you get 30. That's your 800,000. So, you know, when you're looking at that range from 2,500 to 185,000, you know, what's a fair amount? You know, that's something we're gonna have to come up with. But I just think that 15,000 is not gonna get us anywhere near what it would cost to run the agency. And I mean, DFNA might be able to answer this. Do we have any projected revenues of what this business will bring to the state? Is it, you know, is it 10 million, 20 million, or?
We do not have projected revenues for what the private entities might make as on that 5 cultivation facilities or dispensaries. We have an estimated amount of tax that came in a mature market at around 2.5 million. And so that estimate would probably get us to around $500 million.
So the growing facilities will make 500, you're saying 500 million in the state?
They could be making sales up, the total sales on which the end tax would occur would be about, it's 2.5 million, sorry, more like 50 to 60 million. I had the decimal off in my head, my apologies. So 50 to 60 million dollars of sales.
Okay, so let's say that 50 million, let's say they're good business people, and let's say it's 10 million apiece. You know, you're looking at
That's
1% would be 100 grand, you know, for a renewal fee. But like I said, the only people that would be paying that fee would be the ones after, you know, after they're granted a license. So it's not, you know, when you're looking at they're going to make $10 million, what's a, you know, what's 100,000? Even though that's the largest fee there is in the state.
But if you start out, you know, you can have a first year fee after they got their license, and then you can go up based on the amount of revenue that facility made as well. Because I know initially coming out of the gates, I don't think that they'll be making that money, and it may. That's just my opinion. I think it should be higher, but
I guess I'll always say it's always easier to reduce fees once we figure it out than to increase them. And so I still advocate for the higher amount. And, you know, I mean, I think it's Connecticut, they do the 185,000. It basically takes it to a $200,000 fee if we're, you know, if you're successfully going to get a cultivation facility. The other thing I believe Mr. DeVita said last time too is some of that's the funds that help run the commission and help, you know, provide everything that needs to happen to do this. And it's the, you know, it's the point where I think we would do that. It's always easier to come back and lower it than it is to take it back, to take it up if we see that we're just not making the money.